Alright, so today I'm going to go through exactly step by step how to go from seeing a watch and falling in love with it to pulling the trigger and spending your hard-earned money on it. Because there's a lot that goes on in between there. And if you miss a step or skip a detail, you could be making a very expensive mistake. So I'm not going to leave anything out. There are probably some things that other people do that I just personally don't do, but if you follow these things exactly, you won't make a mistake. You will get the watch that you want, that you truly want, and it's gonna fit all your criteria. Alright, first let me just clarify that this is for, the freaks. This is for the meticulously obsessed watch enthusiasts like me. Someone who will not settle for a mediocre example. Just, before you apply this to everybody and everybody needs to shop like this, they don't. 95% of people don't need to go as crazy as this. But we're that 5% who are obsessed with these things and we want the best, unpolished, most original example in the best shape, best timekeeping, etc. So first, you see the watch. You fall in love with it. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be on Instagram. It could be in person. Someone you know is wearing it. It could be a celebrity. Doesn't matter. Point is, you've seen the watch and your eyes light up. You get that little tingly feeling in your hands, and you really want this thing. That desire kicks you in the face, and that's where your pursuit begins. The next thing you want to do is go onto Instagram and search the model. Look at all the different pictures of the watch in the different lighting, on different people's wrists, different skin tones. Try to look at skin tones like yours, or people wearing similar outfits to yours, wearing the watch. Just absorb all those pictures of the watch. Hopefully, if you really love this watch, this will be fun. You will enjoy this part because you get to see the watch on wrists usually, or just in nicer settings. And usually these pictures are very high quality, so it's a fun process looking at the watch on Instagram. Alright, you've looked at the watch on Instagram for a while, now stop. Stop looking at the watch. Cease all your online research or anything to do with this watch for 1 week. Do not look at it on Instagram. Do not look up the history of it. Do not go on Chrono24 shopping for it. Don't do any of that. Forget about it. Just don't look at it for 1 week. If after that week you still can't stop thinking about it, you can't sleep at night because you want it so badly, that's how you know that you really want the watch and it's not just a fling. It's not just a quick flash of desire. So you've waited a week, you know you really want the watch, and it's time to continue your pursuit. Next is to look at every single detail of the watch. You need to know this model, back and forth, up and down, left and right. Everything about this watch you need to know, because in the buying process, if you don't have information, you're at a disadvantage, because you better believe that the dealer has all the information and more. Even if you look at all the details, even if you know everything, the dealer probably knows more about the watch, especially if it's a Rolex, a common model, something that is traded around often. The dealer's going to know everything about it, so you need to know that information too, so you don't get taken advantage of, so you don't get the wrong variation or the wrong year of production, or it has the wrong bracelet on it, or it has different parts. Anything like that can happen, because dealers are not necessarily going to volunteer that information to you. If the watch has a different bracelet that doesn't match the year or the model of the watch, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to come out and say, oh, by the way, look, the watch head is the watch head from 2004, but the bracelet is slightly newer from 2008. It's actually from an Explorer 2, but we put it on the GMT because, it's the same bracelet. It's not the same bracelet. When it comes down to value, and God forbid you eventually need to sell the watch, you better believe that that same dealer is going to knock off a huge chunk of the value because it has the wrong bracelet. So don't be the one who takes that hit. Don't be the one who gets taken advantage of. Know everything about the watch. Everything. Know the dimensions of the watch. Know how it's going to wear on your wrist. If you have a big wrist, will it look too small? If you have a small wrist, will it look too big? There's tons of information on YouTube and Instagram and different reviews. You'll get that information pretty quickly, but know everything about it, including how it's going to fit into your life. Think about where you would wear it. Would you be able to wear it comfortably? Are you going to feel safe wearing it, or are you going to be leaving it at home all the time? Think about all these things and factor all this in. Create this pool of knowledge in your head about this model. Don't let anything slip by. So next, you know everything. It's time to hop onto Chrono24. Our favorite place. We all love Chrono24. But you need to be very careful here. And I think I'm gonna hop over to a screen recording of me looking at Chrono24 so I can explain exactly how to do all of these things that I'm about to go through. Okay, so you're on Chrono24 now, and you're gonna search the model of watch that you want. Let's say Submariner 16610. Let's just keep it simple. So, when you're looking, it's very tempting to want to gauge a price and develop a price target that you plan to achieve. But don't worry so much about that. After enough searching on Chrono24, you'll know what a good price is when you see it. You're not going to need to second guess whether a watch is overpriced or priced well. You'll know, okay? You'll know after enough searching. But you do want to sort by low to high, just straight off the bat. Now, I like to put in the search bar unpolished, okay? That's what I like to do, but you don't have to do that. If you really want to get into unpolished and chamfering and, the sharpness of the case and bracelet, I've made a couple of Chrono24 shopping videos in which I scrutinize that criteria. But you don't have to do that straight away. The first thing you want to do is filter by location. I'm in the US, so I'm going to put US. Most importantly though, you see here where you see the United States flag. On the computer, if you're looking at Chrono24 on the computer, and you hover over the flag with your mouse, it will tell you the city that dealer is in. Usually. Sometimes the dealer themselves don't publish the city that they're in, and that's usually an indication that the dealer doesn't actually have a brick and mortar store. They're an online dealer, they operate through Chrono24 or a website or something. You don't have to necessarily discard those dealers, but for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna later suggest that you go see the watch. So you're gonna want to be able to hover over that flag and see that it's in your city. The reason I mention all this, by the way, is because instead of, for example, for me to see the city now on the phone, for example, I can't hover over the flag, so I have to click on the watch, then click on the dealer here, and okay, they don't have a city listed. So you go back, next example. This guy, seller, Massapequa Park, United States. So, and there's the address. On the computer, you can do that much easier by hovering over the flag. Now, you're going to want to go through all the examples and look for unpolished pieces. Again, I'm not going to do that in this video. I highly recommend you go look at my Rolex shopping on Chrono24 videos, because I go through exactly that. I look at every single model, starting from the lowest price to the highest price, and seeing which models are unpolished and just giving you tips on what to look out for. So check out those videos. So, you found a watch on Chrono24. It's reasonably priced, and it's located in your city. If you live in New York, it's in New York. If you live in LA, it's in LA. If it's in Chicago, it's in Chicago, etc. The next thing you want to do is message the dealer and say hello, include all the pleasantries, but ask him for results from the time grapher. Ask him very politely to please put the watch on a time grapher and send you a picture of the results. The reason this is very important, in my opinion, is because it tells you a lot of things in one shot. It kills many birds with one stone. The first bird that it kills is the actual watch itself. You don't want a Rolex, for example, that's running 12 seconds slow per day. That's no good. You know then that you're gonna buy that watch and have to give it straight to Rolex Service Center, before you can even enjoy it. It's gonna tell you the health of the watch, and it's also gonna tell you about the dealer. If the dealer is reluctant to do this for you, that's a red flag for me, because they're asking you to spend $10,000 on their item, and they can't send you a picture of a little receipt of results from the time grapher. It seems like a perfectly reasonable request. And I have had dealers either not respond, or they say, oh, the watch is in inventory and we can't get it out. BS, okay? BS, in my opinion. And I've had dealers, by the way, tell me no problem, and they do it for me that day, or the next day, or whenever it's convenient for them. It's important, by the way, not to rush this process. If you need to wait 2 days to hear back from that dealer, then you're waiting 2 days to hear back from that dealer. You're not rushing out and going over to him and just, screw it, I'll just check it out in person. No. Wait for this response to gauge the health of the watch and the honesty of the dealer. If he's reluctant at all, or if he's just kind of standoffish, move on. Look for something else. After you've done all that, you have the time grapher results, the watch is well priced, and you're already in conversation with the dealer. Tell the dealer that you'd like to come see the watch. So now you're going to go see the watch in person at the dealer's shop. And when you're there are a few things you need to do and prepare to do. The first one is to ask the right questions. What are the right questions? Well, one of the most important questions is, what's the service history of the watch? Has it been polished? Have you polished it? Did you buy it from the original owner? And some of these questions may seem like they're bothering the dealer, but listen, you're about to spend a lot of money, so you need to get some questions answered. And if he gives you any sort of hard time, be prepared to walk away. That's a very important aspect of this. You cannot go there, even though you've hunted down this particular watch, you've made a day out of going into the city or whatever to see this dealer and to see this watch. Be prepared to walk away, because they know that oftentimes someone who's very enthusiastic about watches and asks all the right questions, they know that that person is usually not prepared to walk away. So ask them those right questions, okay? Protect yourself. If you're satisfied with the answers, if you're satisfied with the service history and the polish history, start to negotiate. Now, I'm not the best negotiator in the world. I find it a little bit awkward because I'm only negotiating down to save myself a little bit of cash, but you're totally entitled to do that. As the buyer, you have every right to try to protect your money. That you worked hard for that money, so you have the right to protect it. So negotiate, and your ability to negotiate will vary. I'm so at it. Some of you might be very good at it, and some of you might be very bad at it. So do it at your own peril. Another thing is, if you do want to go through with buying the watch from the dealer, ask him about his warranty and his return policy. So is he going to give you a piece of paper saying that he backs this watch for the next 2 years and he'll service it if there's something goes wrong in 2 years, or no? Or is there no warranty from him? Also, when you buy the watch, when you end up paying for the watch, do not get so excited that you walk out of the dealership without a receipt. A receipt is very important. Why is it important? Well, you're going to be bringing this watch to Rolex Service Center, or whatever brand, but we're talking about Rolex here. You want to bring that watch to RSC within the first 6 months. I like to do it within the first 2 months if I can. I don't like to waste any time. I bring it to RSC, I have RSC verify the authenticity of it and run it against their system to see if it's stolen. And if it comes up stolen, RSC is going to keep that watch. They're not going to give it back to you. They're going to hold on to the watch. They're going to give it to the police or to Rolex Switzerland to return it to the owner. You're not getting that watch back. You're out a $10,000 watch, and rightfully so, the guy who got his watch stolen way back when is going to get his watch back. And that's great, but you should not be out $10,000. If you have the receipt from the dealer and the warranty, even better, but the receipt most importantly, you can go back to the dealer and say, look, Rolex took my watch. You sold me this watch. It came up stolen with Rolex. I've filed a police report. I don't want to go through with pressing charges, but I need a refund. No exceptions. I need a refund. And they will. They'll give you a refund. Most dealers that I've talked to back their watches 100%. If you watch Paul Thorpe has said that before. He says, I back my watches for life. If you bought a watch from me, it's backed up by me for life. And that's great. That is an awesome attitude for a dealer to have because it makes the buyer feel very safe. It's a lot of money to be spending on such a frivolous thing, so it makes us feel a little bit better. But you have to be careful. Some dealers won't. Some dealers will not stand by their watches, and you have to be very careful. So protect yourself and do not forget the receipt. Okay? I've done that before. I've been too excited. My GMT, my Pepsi, I walked out of the store with it on my wrist. I was so excited, and I totally forgot the receipt. Even though I was telling myself, Mark, do not forget the receipt. Do not forget the receipt. I forgot it. Luckily, I didn't need the receipt in the end, but still, that watch didn't have papers. So the chances of it being stolen were a little bit higher than if it had papers. And that's pretty much it. You've successfully bought a watch. If you follow these steps, you will have an unpolished watch, assuming you watched my video about shopping on Chrono24 and what to look out for with polishing. So it should be unpolished. It should not be stolen. And if it is, you're protected. You should have gotten a decent price, and you should have seen it in person before you bought it. You should not be buying it blind off the internet. And you love this watch because you took a week off. You took a week to think about it, let it simmer, and you know that you are going to be happy with this watch. It's not just a fling. So good luck to you out there buying a watch. I hope it works out. Peace out.